Welcome to the CEO of You. You're locked in with Jonathan, and I run a podcast and personal branding agency. And let's get it, man. I'm excited. Maybe, I think there probably was a little bit of insecurity there. I looked at myself in the mirror one time. You know them ones you just come out the shower, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And look at yourself in the mirror, like, I don't even like what I see like that. And the thing is, I know that I can be a lot better than this. Every religion, and even people who don't even have a religion, are saying that fasting is really, really important for you and gets you closer to the divine and such, and like brings you closer to yourself and God and such. Then why isn't it something that you would try? And I think it's also a mindset thing. It's like breakfast is the most important meal of the day. That was actually, you don't know that was a marketing tactic, right? By Kellogg's.
Oh, swear down.
Swear down. Let's say I was a coach and I wanted to get more clients and to come in. Which one would you say? More paid ads or more just organic growing?
I would say organic, because you can get stupid virality on organic. Let's say, for example, you put something out on TikTok and it gets 2 million views, and then you have 2% of those people convert. That's a lot of people convert, even onto your email list. And you start feeding your email list with all this stuff, and it's awareness as well. It just gets you out there, gets your face out there, and you don't have to pay for it.
Jonathan, thank you for coming on, bro.
Thank you.
And yo, you're doing amazing things.
Thank you, bro.
I just want to know, where did you grow up? What was life like growing up? Like, did you have both parents in the household? Who was your role model? Stuff like that.
So me, where I grew up is South East London, Bromley. Grew up with both of my parents, 3 little sisters as well, big them up. Love them.
Nice.
And was it difficult? I would say it wasn't difficult, as in like it's a good home, like very good area, good school as well. Big up all the people that went to my school. Really, really good people. That's, you know, how they say environment and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like probably the hardest part was just the strictness of my parents, because I know obviously Caribbean household, you know how it is, isn't it? Like your parents can be a little bit strict. So where are you from again?
I'm from here, but my family are from the Caribbean.
Oh, you're Caribbean as well. You kept
yeah,
quiet
yeah.
about that.
I know,
Very quiet.
I was like, well,
say it.
God, and he was just like,
you know what I mean? And then whereabouts in the Caribbean?
I don't really know. I haven't really looked too much
okay.
into it,
Right,
but
right.
I want to know is that both granddads from both sides are from the Caribbean. Both my grandparents born here in the UK.
Okay,
So that's why they don't really big it up as much.
of course.
which part of the Caribbean your family from?
Jamaica.
Like, which, like,
Oh, as in like
Yeah.
Clarendon.
oh, say that.
Yeah.
That's where my mom's from still. I'm
say
from
that.
Kingston though. But
Kingston, yeah, city
Yeah.
boy. City boy. Ah.
kind of.
So where was he born, bro? Kingston.
Kingston, yeah.
Oh, you were born in Kingston?
Yeah, I was actually born in it, but I came here when I was 1. That's why I was kind of like, I'm basically an English boy, innit?
Yeah.
But-
Wait, do the people never know that?
I
Yeah.
never knew that. I knew he's
Mo-
from Jamaica.
a
I
lot
know
of
he's
people
born
do.
Kingston.
But I'm saying your audience.
Nah, not really.
Well, now they do.
Nah, they know.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I'd say upbringing was good. Was a very good area. So it's not like a I grew up hard. Like everyone was on the street selling crack. Like no, people were like it was cool. And school was school, innit? Like you know how school is. Like people would make fun. Like people would have bands. Like you have your friendship groups, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was. I would say it was a good upbringing, man. It taught me a lot.
Did you look up to anyone specifically?
Ooh, when I was younger,
Yeah.
to be honest, probably Will Smith.
What?
Fresh Prince.
Ooh,
Will
okay.
Smith, not Slapper Man Will Smith.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Fresh Prince. So like,
That's it. Slap him.
yeah, they're different kind of Will Smith is here.
Yeah, he's
Big up Will
changed,
Smith,
he's
though,
changed.
if you watch it. Like the reason I looked up to Will Smith because like he had a lot of charisma that I wanted as well. And you know how like the whole fake it till you make it thing and then confidence.
Yeah,
I feel like I did the whole fake it till you make it thing with confidence.
Say that.
A lot of people disagree with that, but then that was my thing in it. So like, I think one thing that Rob said, Coach Klutz said, he's going to be on your scene. One thing that he said is like, I think own the floor before you come the speaker or something like that. So basically be there before you're actually there. So like be that confident person before you're actually the confident person. Now in my head, that's like fake it till you make it, innit?
Yeah,
So
pretty
I
much
walked,
is.
exactly. So I started walking different, had my chest out. I started speaking different, speaking to like looking people in the eyes like I'm doing right now. Do you see what I'm saying when I'm looking at them?
Yeah.
And that just kind of exuberates confidence. You see what I'm saying?
So why is it exactly you did that?
Why did I do that?
Yeah.
Because I felt like I lacked it.
You feel
When I was a
like
lot
you liked
younger, 100%. I feel like I lacked it.
Why? Did someone say you lacked it, or did you just feel?
I felt like I lacked it. Maybe it was my appearance. I don't know. I had big hair, like a big afro back in the day.
Say that.
Goodness gracious, yeah. I don't know. Like I'll just say that I lack confidence, and I definitely wanted to get that. And I saw that in Will Smith. Like he was just like this kind of charismatic guy, and I was like, damn, kind of want to be like that, innit? So a lot of my mannerisms, if you watch Fresh Prince, you would see like there's like similarities there. It's weird. Like I'll be able to see like I do that. And I realized that this is something that I did back in my past, like the way I speak to people, the way I speak to women, the way I speak to guys, like the way I speak to authority. I like look at Fresh
I
Prince
said he was
quite a lot.
flirting like Will Smith.
Bro, yeah, man, it's just charisma, innit? Like he just had a lot of charisma.
Okay, then so I can definitely see a lot of Will Smith in you. You are charismatic, positive energy, literally coming through all the way through.
Yeah, I
Will
feel it.
Smith, all them things. So in doing everything that Will Smith did and also imitating to Fake Till You Make It, what was the goal at the end?
The goal was to be able to communicate with people, and I think maybe even to become likable, because I realized that likable people get things. And likable people get to go places faster than non-likable people.
True.
In the scenarios that I was seeing, right? Because obviously I was looking at TV shows and such. I was looking at, like, let's say, for example, Fresh Prince. When obviously you're likable, you get favor in different areas of your life, right? I was looking at life as well. When you're likable, maybe the likable person in school, they get favor in different areas. And I went to a boys' school, innit? So let's say, for example, it's like... Oh,
we all went to boys' school.
Okay. And of course, same as Rob, because obviously we went to the same school. And yeah.
Also, you, Rob, and Cam.
Yeah, so we all went to the same school. School of Excellence. School of Excellence, I'm telling you now. Langley Boys. So a lot of people who are really doing their thing as well went to Langley Boys as well. Like, yeah, serious guys.
What age was you looking up to Will Smith? Are you talking like 10 to 15?
I'd say like year 7 up. Because like primary school, I can't even remember. So I'll probably say like year 7 upwards, and then like probably stop watching Fresh Prince. Matter of fact, I didn't even really stop watching Fresh Prince. I just kind of like rewatch it sometimes. But I kind of faded out of my life maybe GCSE times when I started to have to actually revise. So yeah.
So in terms of being likable in school, was you likable? Or was that something you kind of grew into towards year 11?
I'd say probably I was probably already likable, but maybe I just didn't think that way, like that I was likable. So maybe that's why I was trying to cultivate this kind of persona and all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, I just ended up being a lot more myself.
You know what's funny? It's because for me, I've had a few people tell me I'm a likable character. And like even strangers, I've just been on the bus and this guy's like, yo, you've got nice energy. I was just like, I wasn't even doing anything.
Yeah.
Do you get it? But being likable is something that I never really thought about. It's kind of just, I don't want to make enemies. No, there's no reason to make enemies out of nothing. So I kind of just like, yo, you're cool. If you're cool, we talk. And yeah, we move from there.
That's it. Like, and I've realized literally to that example, so many times I've just been myself, right? The likable guy, like just a charismatic guy, come across well to people, treat people with respect, and actually speak to people. Because a lot of people just don't get spoken to. Like people, like let's say for example, a waiter, someone who's supposed to serve you, right? They don't get spoken to. True. They don't get asked how your day is. Because they're always asking you how your day is, but then who actually asks them how's your day? I've realized they treat you a lot better. When you speak to receptionists, they treat you a lot better. Like there's certain things that we get, in purpose-led, me, Rob, individually as well. There's certain things and opportunities we get just because we're able to speak to people. We're able to communicate with them and be likable. And the only reason we're likable is because we're ourselves. Because when I was looking through that whole likable stuff, yeah, I realized it's like, who actually am I? Because obviously I'm trying to be this guy, like the kind of Fresh Prince kind of character, but I had to break it down and say, like, who actually am I? And that just took some self-discovery. And after the self-discovery, it actually turned into authenticity. And authenticity, that's the man you see in front of you.
So who are you exactly?
Who am I?
Yeah, if you was to define yourself today, what would you say?
I'll say I'm a child of God.
For one.
Amen.
I would say for one.
For one. Everyone's a child of God.
There you go. And then also I would say I'm a very purpose-led individual. Like literally everything, obviously that's the podcast name and the big up purpose.
Big up purpose-led, yeah.
But literally everything I do is purpose-led. My business is purpose-led. Like we only really work with companies who actually have a purpose behind what they do. It's not just like any willy-nilly company that's just doing anything under the sun. Or like we don't work with every podcast that's just doing everything, talking about anything. And even with the podcast as well, we talk about things that are going to benefit you. We're talking about stuff that's actually going to add value to your life. Facts. Everything we do is purpose-led. Everything I do is purpose-led. There's always a reason behind stuff. There's a reason I'm here. There's a purpose I'm here. I know you guys are doing something amazing. I want to be a part of that. Why not?
Facts.
You see what I'm saying?
I love for that.
And there's a reason why we're in Birmingham today, me and Rob. It's because we're speaking at a school, trying to inspire some young people. That's what we do as well. We speak at schools, we speak at universities and such. There's a purpose behind it. To leave the world a better place than we actually came to as. So yeah, I would say I'm a purpose-led individual too. That's the first time I'm giving that answer. I like that.
That's a good answer.
I'm going to reload it for any time someone asks me.
That's a good answer.
I wanted to say, what was the purpose behind the whole gym? Because I seen your body transformation and I was like, bro, can't look at this? Like, mad transformation.
I appreciate you. What was the purpose behind it?
Yeah. Was he insecure? Or
maybe, I think there probably was a little bit of insecurity there. Not like, I wouldn't subconsciously say, oh yeah, back then, oh yeah, I'm insecure, so I'm gonna fix this. Or like, whatever, or I'm insecure, that's the reason I'm doing this. But I looked at myself in the mirror one time. You know, the ones you just come out the shower, whatever, and look at yourself in the mirror, like, I don't even like what I see like that. Like I don't like. And the thing is, I know that I can be a lot better than this, and all it takes is for me to actually do something about it. And this was in lockdown, and I said, you know what? There's nothing else to do. I might as well eat some food, eat porridge. But listen, man, if you can't get meal prep, just get porridge, man. Just get porridge, stack up on porridge.
You know what? Can't stand porridge.
You can't stand porridge?
Oh, I love porridge.
I love what do you have with your porridge?
I have sultanas, yeah.
Yeah.
I also, sometimes, I'll chop up apples.
You ever put jam in there?
What?
That sounded crazy. I don't eat porridge.
That sounded crazy.
I put jam in my porridge.
Jam?
Yeah, I'm oats, yeah.
You should have kept it to yourself.
That's lame,
Each
bro.
their own.
Jam and banana, bro. Jam and banana.
My sister has peanut butter and
See,
banana in
I've
hers.
had that.
I hear it, but I don't.
that's
Do you know the ones? I hear it, but I don't. But yeah, so like I did that, and protein shakes as well. Serious mass. If you're trying to gain weight, get serious mass. That's a really big part of my weight journey. And I was like, I say like 72 kilograms. Then obviously it took like 4 months, not obviously, but it took like 4 months to get to about 82 kilograms. So I put on like 10 kilograms in those months when I was just lifting outside in my garden because I was seeing progress.
Oh, you didn't even go gym. You was in your garden.
I was in my garden.
Lockdown, innit? That's
Lockdown.
crazy.
And my dad had like this bar, right?
Yeah.
And he had it in the garage for years. I'm saying this guy ain't used them in years. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, listen, you ain't using them, so let me use them. So I used the bar, I used the weights, everything like that. And I was doing, the curls and all that kind of stuff, bench press. And I actually started to double like my PRs from when I was at the gym. My something records, personal records. Yeah. I started to double them from when I was at the gym when I was at home. Didn't have a spotter or anything. I had to. Because obviously no one else is around.
Yeah, no choice.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That drops, yo.
And I was doing it on days when it was snowing. I was doing it on days when it was raining. I was doing it on days when it was sunning, beaming. And then I was just topless in my garden. You see what I'm saying? Just sweating. And I bought a bench as well. And I started to, use the bench for bench press and then the dips as well. I couldn't do an actual dip before I bought the dip bench. And then you know how you're in the gym and then you're doing like the assisted dips.
Yeah.
I used to do that before. But then I didn't have any assisted dips when I was at yard, so I had to learn how to do the dips. And now I'm just doing them when I'm for fun. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then it was basically because I didn't like what I saw, and I knew that I could change it just through some hard work, dedication, and I had the time. So why not?
So if you could give a message to anyone who wants to get in shape, 'cause I know everyone wants to get in shape. What would you say is one thing that stuck out for you that made you successful in that?
You can't master what you don't measure. So let's say, for example, with business, right? Your outreach, you need to measure that. Otherwise, you won't be able to master it. Because if you're doing only 10 outreach and you don't even know you're doing 10 outreach and you're getting like 2 responses, you don't know how many responses you're going to get if you do 100 outreach because you'll be able to extrapolate that. Be able to say, okay, if I get 2 responses from every 10 outreach, that means with 100 outreach, I should be able to get 20, right? Be able to like kind of see what your success is saying, right?
Yeah.
So that's why you need to document and measure your actual like process in the journey. So let's say, for example, when you're trying to gain weight, how many calories that you actually intake. The one biggest change as well in my weight journey, right, was when I started. And I started to document the weight that I actually was at and was fluctuating between. Well, matter of fact, I started to document how much I was eating, the amount of calories I was taking in. I was like, I'm actually under eating. I got this app, it's called Fitness Pal or My Fitness Pal.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm actually under eating like for what I actually want to achieve. So I need to start eating a lot more. That's when I started to get serious mass, started to make my protein shakes. It's like 300 mils of milk, like 300, like to the 300 mil line of oats, strawberry scoop of serious mass, and then banana, and yeah, that was about it.
How many calories in that shake?
Near to 1,000.
Yeah, I thought
and I was
so.
having that on top
when you
of,
said oats, I said
exactly, and I was having that on top of the 3 meals a day, and then I was having the porridge as well. You see what I'm saying? So I was eating 3,500 a day from like 2,500. I thought I used to eat a lot, but I was just snacking. And that's what I realized. So that was the biggest switch, innit? When I started to document how much I was actually eating. And that's when it all changed.
Did that make you feel better within yourself? Did you notice any other changes apart from physical change?
Yeah, like there was even more behind the confidence. Like there was even more of a reason for me to be because I'm happy within myself. Like I look at myself, I'm saying I'm proud of you because you're doing this thing that you said you were going to do, and you're seeing the repercussions, you're seeing the consequences, the positive consequences. You're seeing the result of your actions.
And that's crazy you say that because you just spoke about how okay, I want to say you said you reflected, you looked in the mirror and you looked at part of your life. So it seems like you was very self-aware in what you said. Tell me about self-awareness.
Self-awareness, I think it's extremely key. That's what everyone would say. But in terms of practical things you could do for self-awareness is journaling. Journaling is something that I was doing a while ago. I need to get back on it. It's just about timing, innit? But then ultimately, that's another thing as well. It's like perspective. You actually have time for everything, but it's just what you're going to make time for.
True.
So I know that journaling is so, so important. It's so important because it actually allows you to actually look at yourself and say, I am like this. These things have happened and I'm seeing the patterns in my life and that's the way that I am like this. It actually explains a lot to you because you see yourself from an outside perspective. You see your life from an outside perspective. So yeah, I'd say journaling is a big part of self-awareness. Big part. You clock things that you would never have clocked before. I remember there was one time, and this was the law of reciprocity when I realized it, right, in my life, and I saw it real life. I must have gone to the gym one time and I met a guy, I think his name's Godfrey, big up Godfrey. And then I must have said to you, bro, you look good, man. Like, that's me. I'll just give out compliments because if someone is, I'll just tell them, innit? And I said, bro, you look good, man. He was built and all that kind of stuff. And he was just doing like calisthenics. And I was like, hard. You're really doing your thing. You look amazing. Keep it up, innit? He's like, yeah, bro, you're a charmer. I was like, nah, bro, I'm just telling you what you look like, innit? He's like, love. And about like an hour and a half, 2 hours later, I must have been coming out of the gym now. So I got my pump on and everything like that. So I was looking all right. See what I'm saying? I came out, it was summer. So I came out in the vest. I was looking, hey, listen, man. I came out. And then this lady to me, who I met in a spa the other day, must have said, oh, you look amazing. I was like, oh, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Some people, they get that all the time. You know what I mean? You lot might get that all the time, innit? But then to me, I was like, oh, yeah, that's nice. For someone to just say that really randomly, like some people who know me might say that, but someone to just say that out of the blue, that's really, really nice. But then I only drew those two comparisons where I put something out and I got the same thing back from a different person when I was journaling that evening. So yeah, journaling is really, really good for self-awareness. And I realized at that time, okay, the law of reciprocity is a real thing. Like I'm actually putting stuff out there and it's getting reciprocated. Obviously, sowing and reaping in the Bible, it's the same thing. When you put stuff out, it comes back. And the world is abundant, man. Like I think it was Tay from the Energizer podcast. He must come on our podcast and say, big up the Energizer podcast. He must have said that when you cut grass, the grass always grows back. You don't cut grass and then wait for it to grow back. It will always grow back. The world is abundant. Everything is abundant. So that's why, I just believe in a law of abundance, law of reciprocity. Couple laws still.
Couple laws. Give me one more. Give me one more.
One more.
Tell me the most enticing one for you.
Enticing. I don't know the names, but I'll tell you about. I'm gonna make one up. Matter of fact, this is gonna be COU special.
Okay.
Special.
I love it.
The law of environment.
Okay.
Your environment is so key. Your environment isn't just about the people that are around you. It's also the content you consume. That's what I believe heavily.
I agree.
Heavily. Because if you're consuming negative content, negative in, negative out, trash in, trash out. And I also believe gold in, gold out. So if you actually melt down gold, what are you going to get? Gold. Just in a different form, right?
Yeah,
if you melt out trash, what are you going to get? Trash.
More trash.
Just in a different form. So by melting down gold, I mean, let's say taking in you lot's content, for example, taking in purpose-led content, for example, Myron Golden, someone I would actually recommend everybody listening to in terms of if you're like into business and stuff and CEOs, they all like that. Who else was a good person to listen to? Even Trist, even Cam, those kind of stuff. You're taking in all this stuff. Even some other, like, let's say, for example, other podcasts and other people who just talk realness, right? You're taking in all of this stuff. What do you think is going to come out? Gold.
True.
And that's why when I speak, I'm only speaking and saying all the stuff that I've heard and kind of like internalize and understood myself. Because gold in, gold out. I'm not saying what I'm saying is gold in it.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying it's
we get what you're saying. Value.
We're getting there. You know,
value.
value. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you meditate?
I don't. I pray.
You pray.
Christian, innit?
So I would say prayer is a form of meditation.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yes, indeed. So it's not because in my head I feel like I'm thinking like that kind of meditation, innit? You see what I'm saying? But I'll do breathing. So like deep breathing, breathe out. If I'm trying to go sleep, that helps as well. And sometimes just so much is going on just in life.
What's some of the breathing techniques you do?
Oh, literally it's so simple. Just
deep breath.
Breathe in, hold it, breathe out.
Okay.
Extend that, breathe out, and then breathe out like breathing through a straw, like this. Like that.
Okay.
There you go. Exactly. Like that.
To the mic.
And that's basically what I do.
So where do you breathe from? Your chest or your stomach?
I breathe from my stomach.
So
and I realized
I've been trying to do that and I find it's very weird.
It's not
weird.
easy. So that's why more time I'll be breathing through my chest, but I'm trying to breathe through my stomach because I've heard that that's the best way to do it.
I've kind of envisioned myself like having a pin and pulling my stomach out and then pulling it back in and just
But it's unnatural, isn't it? But it gives your brain more oxygen and stuff so you can think more clearly and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, swear down. Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard about it, but I never really thought like what's the difference, bro?
Nah.
Try it. And so when there's a lot going on in life, sometimes you just need to step away and then just breathe. Because that's one thing we don't do. We don't just focus on our breath. Because if you just focus on one thing, you'll help it to focus on the next thing as well.
Do you know what? Okay, I don't know how this is gonna turn out when I say it, but do you know when you have cold showers
Yeah.
and you talk about breath work? Does everyone focus on their breath when they have cold showers?
I try to, but you know how difficult that is.
I am not a cold shower man. I am not a
Not a cold shower.
absolutely.
Have you
not.
tried one?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
How'd you?
I tried it, then I
Did
stopped
you
trying
start?
it.
Did you
afterwards.
start like semi-warm?
Oh no, I started warm because the thing is with me, I'm warm and I like things that are warm in it. So that's why I'll be in the shower. It'll be like, you know what I'm saying, at certain degrees. But then I will try the cold dip though. I do the cold dip when I go to gym, and so like when I go.
See, that's meant to be harder than the cold shower.
Yeah. It
No,
is, bro.
I don't think so.
Nah. It is.
I don't think so. Do you know why? Obviously, I can't compare it because I don't do the cold shower.
Yeah.
But cold dip is like, it's a dip. It's not like you're in there and you're there for a reason to wash. Like I just go in there, right? And then I'm underneath the water and it gets all right when you're actually underneath there for a sec, right? But cold showers, that's individual droplets hitting
I
you
get
of
you.
coldness.
I get you.
I feel like when you do a cold shower, man, and you actually work on your breath, trust me, you'll be all right.
Do you know how hard
try
it
it
is to
out.
work on your breath, bro? I had a cold shower the other day. I told you, straight cold, you know, bro. No warmness,
Nothing.
and I couldn't even.
How do you start?
What do you mean? How do I say?
I was in like lukewarm. Would you start
Nah,
lukewarm?
because I'm saying,
in,
see,
how
everyone,
did I start
everyone
when
does
it's
cold
straight
shower
cold?
different. Because what I do is I get the water first and then put it on me.
Oh, right.
So I'm getting ready for it. You get what I'm saying?
right,
'Cause I know a
right.
lot of man just like, that's
Yeah,
a bit.
yeah, word.
So
I
obviously,
start like that, and then I'm like, okay.
so
let me
obviously,
jump in.
normally if I'm having a cold shower, yeah, it's warm first, and then I do cold after, just because I feel like I'm clean with warm water in it.
Yeah.
But anyway, one day it was just straight cold.
Yeah.
Bro, I put my hand in first. I said, I can't do this. I was staring at the droplets coming down. as
Yeah,
you
what?
said.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, if my hand's this cold, how's my body gonna react?
Honestly,
you get it? Because your hands and feet get cold first, all
That's
of that,
it.
etc. Anyway, I stepped in, tried to put my arm in, not happening. I said, yo, the only way I'm doing this is if like I spread it on me first,
That's it.
like
That's
what I'm
with my
saying.
flannel.
Yeah.
And even then, it didn't really help. But it's a way to start, innit?
And that's the thing. What you see, Miles Monroe, big
Yeah,
preacher,
yeah.
serious guy. He must have made this story or said this story about a science lesson in Barbados. See, Barbados, different. So what the teacher did, right, is she got a frog and she put a frog into boiling water. What did the frog do? It jumped straight out because it's boiling, right? But then the teacher was like, okay, this is a lesson of how to boil a frog. So she took another frog, or she took the same frog, matter of fact, and she put it into cold water, which was on a stove or a Bunsen burner or something like that, right? You know, remember Bunsen burners?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
She put it onto the Bunsen burner, and she started to heat it up. The frog stayed in there until it was boiled. And what I mean by that is that it's a process, isn't it? So let's say, for example, you started off with warm, and then you went to cold. It'll be a lot easier than going to cold straight away.
It is to be
And
fair,
this is
'cause
what
that's
I
what
was
I normally
saying
do.
with the cold shower. Like that's why I asked you, did you start like semi-warm and then twist it down? Because you know, like I don't know if you man showers got the numbers. It's like 1, 2, 0.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
actually, I always start from 5.
Okay.
Dead center. Around the 2 minutes in, I'll drop it down to 4.
Okay.
And then around like the last 5 minutes or something, I'll drop it down to 3 or
Boiling
2.
the
And
frog.
then you're like,
Yeah.
okay, now I
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
And I was gonna say, back to the point I was saying to you, something about when you work on your breath work, cold showers or something. Do you notice how you could never be angry? Because you controlled your breath work for the whole way
Because
through.
that's the only thing to think
Yeah,
about,
okay.
innit?
That's why, like, you know, when people like lose their temper and is that a breath? It's trying to get filled. True. That's like he must have mentioned in the podcast I listened to today. Cold showers is a good way to control your breath, and basically, whenever people have cold showers, their emotions change. Because I know for a fact when I finish a cold shower or like a cold plunge, I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
feeling
yeah,
Because you can
I
do
cou-
anything.
I couldn't be angry.
Yeah, yeah.
What? I've got no reason to be angry.
That
I've
is
dominated and conquered.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a great little segment on the podcast. On the podcast, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, apart from cold showers, yeah, is there anything else that you do? Like, do you plan your days? I know
I do.
I use Google Calendar.
Good.
What do you use?
Literally same, innit?
Same thing,
I use
so-
Google Calendar. And my thing is, Montel Gordon said he does SMMA as well. You might have heard of him.
What's his name?
Montel Gordon. I would say look him up. He does some certified content. Like if you're trying to get started in SMMA, he's a cool guy to listen to. He's doing pretty well. I think he's gone over to the coaching side now. But anyway, one thing he said that has never left me, and I always give homage to whoever said whatever they said in it, because I believe you're supposed to, right? Yeah. One thing he said is never go to bed without planning your day ahead. So don't go to bed until you plan the next day. And I've realized, obviously, when you're working for yourself, do you guys work for yourself, or do you work at companies at the moment?
For myself.
For myself, yeah.
Freelance.
Okay, so like when you're freelancer, right? So when you're working for yourself, you are your own boss. You are the CEO of
You.
Okay,
Hey,
you're
man.
the CEO.
Hey,
Okay, like that one. Easy. You're the CEO of you when you work for yourself, right? So you have to be the person to tell yourself to get up. You don't always want to get up in the morning. The 7 a.m. and 6 a.m. I don't know if you lot are 5 a.m. boys. I'm definitely a 7 a.m. boy now. I used to be 5 a.m.
8 a.m. now still.
8 a.m. now.
no.
You have to be realistic, innit?
Yeah,
I'm
8
back,
a.m., bro.
I'm back to
Cut the
6.
crap.
I
You're
used
back
to be
to 6.
5.
Well, what time do you go to bed?
I try to go around 10. I try.
Try.
But if I'm not sleeping at midnight, the next day's fucked.
That's it.
It's fucked. I'm waking up 7.
I would actually honestly say moving to 7 because I used to go like 5:30, 6, 6:30. Then I just said right at 7. As long as I go to bed before midnight, I'm good. Because I know 7 hours of sleep, I'm at peak productivity. Like I work really well. So yeah, sleeping is another thing. What was the question again?
Do you plan your days?
Do you plan your days?
So
Yeah.
So I plan my day the day before, and the reason I do that is because sometimes you'll wake up and you're like, "There's so many things to do. What should I do?" Because I know as freelancers, you have different clients. You also have the podcast. So like, okay, what should I work on first? And you're sitting in
our
bed.
own content as well, trying to make.
Exactly. And you're sitting in bed. You're like, what should I do? What should I do? Drift off. Half an hour later, what should I do? Okay, let me just get up. Do you know what I'm saying? And then that's already some time wasted in the morning.
True.
That you could have been doing other stuff. But if you planned your day and you say, look, at 7:30 a.m. or 7 a.m., I'm waking up, I'm showering. 7:30, I'm going to be working on client one's project. And then 9, I'm going to be having a snack. Maybe you're trying to gain weight. And then 10, I'm going to be doing this, that, and the other. If you plan your day, where's the excuses? You take out the need for excuses. So yeah, that's why I do plan my day. And I try to get as much sleep as possible.
What do you aim for 7 or do you aim for 8?
I aim for 7.
Okay.
I aim for 7 because I used to get like 5 to 6. So 7's better than
Really?
5 to 6.
To be fair, that's what
How
I
did you
used to
function? Because I
Did
can't. If I can't function, I get headaches.
That's the thing. And I was realizing, I was like,
You get
okay,
headaches.
this ain't sustainable.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily headaches. It just wasn't sustainable.
Yeah, you just
was
feel
like-
drowsy, innit?
I was just
That's
like, and then I was napping. I was not even napping, like intentionally napping. I was napping as in at my seat. That's the kind of napping I was doing.
I've done that before.
Do you see what I'm saying? You drift off in the middle of the day. It's midday. Why are you drifting off?
Bro, it's like 2 p.m.
That's not business.
Hand on the mouse, bro.
For real,
In my
hand
seat.
on the mouse.
I
You
don't
see
get
it,
how you can fall asleep at a desk.
bro?
that's
It's
crazy,
real life.
that is.
And then my neck is mashed up because I'm going like this.
Yeah,
on
bro.
my seat.
And I wake
Bro,
up and I
nuts.
think, rah, an hour's gone by.
Yeah.
And I look at the client work and I'm like, rah, still needs to get this done,
Exactly. So that's why I always. Well, now I'm trying to prioritize sleep because I believe sleep is it's just a superpower, man. When you get a lot of sleep, you wake up and you want to get up. But then when you wake up tired, you want to go back to sleep.
What about your nutrition?
So
What is your nutrition? Because I've watched Direct to Your podcast.
Yeah.
And it's actually become such a common theme in this podcast where they all talk about nutrition is literally the power to become a superhero and how we're all operating about 50% of our power. Nutrition.
I agree with that. But for me,
Yeah, for you.
I'm not a person that says, right, I'm gonna eat this, that, this, that, this, that. For me, I'm just a thing of like, okay, let me just have fruit in the morning, right? And then have my bowl of porridge, work out, that's it. And then I eat whatever.
Yeah.
I'm blessed with a high metabolism, innit? Or some could say cursed, innit? But I say blessed. Because yes, obviously I burn calories a lot quicker, but it also keeps me very, very lean. And a lot of people look at life on a negative. I'm a glass half full kind of guy, innit? So I look at that as a blessing. So cool, yeah, I burn through calories quicker. That means that I just need to eat even more. That's just the way that I see it, right? But when it comes to diet and like nutrition, all I focus on is having like a bowl of fruit in the morning, a porridge, working out, because obviously that helps with the fat and all that kind of stuff. And that's it. And then of course have home cooked meals as well, which also help. And I also sometimes meal prep myself too. And yeah, all of that kind of stuff helps. And make sure that you put your vegetables in there and all of that. But yes, main thing that I always try and do at the start of the day is get a couple of fruits in a fruit bowl. And it really does help.
Facts.
I feel like I need to get into this porridge thing now still.
Oh, 100%, bro.
100%.
And it's just easy and it's quick.
Yeah,
And
that's
another
what I
thing
feel.
I've realized as well with that three-way combo, yeah, the fruit, porridge, and working out, I've been able, like, people around me are getting sick. People just coughing, spluttering, whatever, and I'm calm.
To be fair though, I don't really
God
get
willing,
sick
it stays
anyway.
that way.
I don't really get sick anyway, but
Okay.
maybe I'm just blessed in it. So
Yes,
You
are blessed.
mentioned God a lot.
Yeah.
What's God to you?
God is, for me, I'm trying to get better with my faith. So now I'm looking a lot more into, okay, what God actually is, who God actually is.
Have you looked into other religions?
Briefly, of course, you had RS and all that kind of stuff in like year 9 and all that kind of stuff. But mostly my whole life has just been God in it and Christianity. And the thing is, I've seen God move. Like I've seen him move in like family's life, like family members' lives. Seen God move in my friends' lives as well. Like lives have been changed and such. So it's like now it's like, okay, now I think it's my turn, innit? So I need to turn up. I need to start listening to the stuff and actually taking an interest myself. Because I've always been put in the environment, but the interest wasn't necessarily there because it was just default. It's just normal for me. That's what I grew up on. But then now I'm seeing like the benefits of having God on your side because I believe that there is like God is real. I believe.
What makes you believe that? Because of what he's done for people around you.
Yes, I've seen it. Like I've seen people praying, and things that don't even look. It doesn't even look possible. It's just happened. And like stories that I hear from like my grandma and all that kind of stuff, it's just nuts to me, right? I do believe in the spiritual realm because it's not just the physical. Like it can't just be the physical. There's a lot more. And obviously, I'm not that clued up on it. That's why you don't hear me talk about it that much.
That's something for Nero. That.
Big up Nero, man. That's for Nero,
Nero, bro.
Yes, indeed. But yeah. God to me, that is the creator, person who created me, person who created everything, everyone, created the universe and all that kind of stuff. That's my belief.
What does a typical day in your life look like?
Typical day in my life. Right, is it a good day or bad day?
It's a great day.
I like that because I was going to say it was a trick question. It is always a great day. Every day above ground is a great day, man. So for me, I wake up at about 7 and then I have I don't have my fruit yet. I actually fast till 11.
Oh, so that?
Yeah.
Oh, you fast to 11?
I fast till 11.
Yeah.
So
Why do you do that? Sorry.
Couple reasons, innit? So I met this one guy, big up Samir, he goes to my gym. Dope guys at the gym, man. You always meet cool people at the gym, I'm telling you. People who are like, honestly, like people who go to the gym regularly, they're probably gonna be kind of people that you want to speak to. They're consistent, clearly. And if they worked on their body, you'll be able to see it. So that'll be able to, how you do something is how you do everything. That will translate into other parts of their lives too. So they'll probably be successful in other parts of their lives. But Samir, he's a trader, and he must have told me that he has 1 meal a day.
Pardon?
He has 1 meal a day, and he looks better than most people that I know who go to the gym. I said, how you do that? Because it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me at all. And he's like, a lot of people have this conception, like this idea that you need to have 3 meals a day and breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but not necessarily. And he's done so much research. I need to do my own research. But then one thing he said actually changed my perspective completely. He said, if every religion is saying that fasting, every religion and even people who don't even have a religion are saying that fasting is really, really important for you and gets you closer to the divine and such and like brings you closer to yourself and God and such, then why isn't it something that you would try? And I was like, He was like, think about it, like the energy that you use to break down the food that you're eating in the morning, you see how we were slumping at like midday?
Yeah.
That could have been that slump. And for me, I realized that was one of my slumps. So it's like, okay, I'm eating a heavy breakfast. Because remember, I was trying to gain weight.
Yeah.
I was eating a heavy breakfast in the morning. And I'm like, hold on a sec. Let me stop eating a heavy breakfast in the morning and see how it happens and like see how it works and such.
It takes a lot of energy to digest it.
Takes a lot of energy to digest. And then that energy could be used to doing my IPAs, my income producing activities, right? The stuff that is most important and putting that at the start of my day. So I devote all of my main energy to that so I'm not tired and burnt out later on in the day when I'm trying to nap off and all that kind of stuff. And then also I have gym. So I do gym before I eat. Which some people are like, what? Like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
But
Does
then
that help with the metabolism?
it might, I don't know what it has to do with metabolism, but then a lot of people I know do that same thing as well. And I think it's also a mindset thing. It's like breakfast is the most important meal of the day. That was actually, you lot know that was a marketing tactic, right? By Kellogg's.
Oh, swear down.
Swear down?
That was a marketing tactic, bro.
I don't really have breakfast. Really.
I mean, yo.
So you weren't even trying to listen to the marketing at all.
Nah, bro. That's probably why I haven't heard it.
I'm talking about, I think it was I'm not sure if
I
it was
ain't never missed
20s
the
or
breakfast.
60s or something. There you go.
Never.
But it was a marketing tactic. So people bought more Kellogg's. They said breakfast, it wasn't even scientifically backed. I think it was in like the Good Health magazine or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was called. But they were just trying to sell more Kellogg's.
And
I
it
don't blame
works
them.
though. It
Yeah,
works.
it works on me.
It's business. It worked on all of us, matter of fact.
Yeah.
And I hear why, okay, yeah, you're supposed to have breakfast because that will allow you to get more calories, which will allow you to have more energy and then da-da-da-da-da. But ultimately, it's not necessarily the most important meal of the day. And a lot of people think that. But yeah.
So back to the great day in your life.
Yes, so great day in my
7
life.
a.m. wake up.
7 a.m. wake up.
No food till 11.
So 7 to 7:30, I'll be doing like my morning stuff. So like listening to a podcast or like listening to like some sort of like a preach or something like that. I'm setting my day up right because ultimately what you look at first is really, really important for you and how the rest of your day goes. Like if I'm opening up TikTok and I'm seeing people slapping people up, and I'm opening up Instagram and I'm seeing people arguing. And it's like, I don't know, like Real Housewives, I don't know why that would be on my feed, but Real Housewives of Atlanta or something like that. And people just arguing, right? Let's just say, for example, I'm just bait, right? I don't follow meme pages anymore, but let's say it was. That's the first thing I'm seeing. How do you think the rest of my day is going to go? That's how I set my mind at the start. You know, setting your mindset. That's how I set my mind at the start of the day. Seeing people fighting and arguing. Why do I want that at the start of my day? If I want to have a great day, why am I seeing things that aren't great? So yeah, start of my day, I make sure that I actually tune into the right stuff, right? Because you turn into what you tune into. That's a really strong belief of mine. And then after that, I'll probably head to the gym like 7:30 if it's a great day.
Yeah.
Get there by 8ish. handle a couple things, and then 9, have a meeting with my outreach team, and then after that, and that's like 2 VAs, and then after that, I will usually either go to the gym or handle a couple other things that I might need to handle, and then go to the gym, then have my breakfast. Then after my breakfast, then I'll usually do some other stuff in the gym as well. It's David Lloyd, so they have like this kind of like working area.
You got like a cafe.
Yeah. So it's like they've even got like a workspace and a cafe in the one that I'm at. So
I might need to move to London.
It's quite nice.
My thing's just got a cafe.
Quite nice still.
It's a big cafe though. But
After the gym, man, just get the laptop out and get to work.
But
that's one thing I need to do. I never really bring my laptop.
That's productivity. That's key.
That's it. And then if I'm there, it's like, okay, it's silly not to go gym because I'm already here and I see the gym from where I'm working, so I might as well go, right? And it's just like putting these things in place so that it's unreasonable for you not to succeed. That's another thing I believe in as well.
True. Is that when it comes back to your environment as well?
100%. 100%. Because like if your environment is gym and people dressed in gym clothes doing work, what do you think you're gonna do? You're gonna be doing gym stuff, and you're gonna probably come downstairs and do some work because everyone else around you's doing it.
Oh, I need to get on that. You know. After this, I'm buying a padlock for the locker, bro.
There you go.
Bringing my stuff,
There you
showering
go.
there,
Getting
work,
started.
gym. Yeah.
And that's nice as well because when I wake up, I can just head straight there and I'll shower after the gym, innit? I'm a clean guy in it, so obviously I have a wash the day before, have a wash like in the morning as well. But I have my shower after the gym, so that's another thing that could have stopped me in the morning. And obviously it's a house shared with people, innit? I say people, it's my family, innit? Not random people. Let me
I was
just
like, what, you moved
You know
up?
what I'm saying? So it's a house shared with a family, innit? So there's different people using stuff at different times, but I can control my schedule. And there's only 2 things in life that you control. I'm a strong believer of this: your activity and your attitude. So I can control my activity. I can't control my sister's activity. And the fact that she wants to do her hair at 7 a.m. Why, I could not tell you. I can't control that, but I can control what I do. So I can go to the gym and have a shower there, hot, flowing water. No one's complaining. You see what I'm saying? That I'm in there for too long. Listen, man, I'm just able to just be in there and just do the thing and then come out whenever I want to and then eat and whatever.
So in terms of work then, what is it that you actually do?
So I run I always say this the wrong way around. I run a personal branding and podcasting agency. So I help startups and entrepreneurs, mostly startups like SaaS companies and such, actually launch their podcasts and grow their personal brands as well. So that's essentially what I do.
Okay, to grow a personal brand, what is it you say that makes a successful personal brand?
Authenticity. You see how quick I said that as well?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like you were racing.
Authenticity.
Do you know what? I was thinking to make a reel about authenticity.
Bro, that is it, bro. Literally, when you're authentic, so much stuff comes to you. We had a podcast yesterday. We were literally shooting in Canary Wharf. We moved to Canary Wharf to shoot. Yeah. It's nice, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Sexy.
You know what I mean? We moved there recently to start shooting, and there's this guy called Bricks with Tips. Big up Bricks with Tips. And then
you got him.
yes, indeed.
Oh, that's cool.
Do you know what I'm saying? Really cool guy as well. And obviously, when you start getting more people on, like more people know people who will be able to, you know what I'm saying? And people see the connection, they'll want to come on. We had a conversation with him, and his thing, the reason why he went from being in the corporate world and a social media kind of influencer to the TV presenting world, he's in TV presenting now, is because of authenticity. People like him for him. E-Man Effect, he hosted our first event. You guys might have been there, weren't you?
Nah.
You were, Gen Z, X-Purpose led.
I wasn't there.
No, it wasn't you guys, actually. It wasn't
heard
you
about it,
guys, but you heard about it. So that was one of our biggest events, right? I was thinking of someone else, sorry. But there, he hosted our first event, right? And that's where we met him. And then we did podcasts and stuff afterwards. But he got to where he is because of him being authentic. He's able to speak to his people in the way that they would understand. And then him, Tayo, they're working on some big stuff together as well. And it's all built off the back of being authentic. Tayo, Bricks with Tips.
Okay, yeah.
And then me and Rob, we authentically asked, like, do I seem different from how I come across on the podcast?
No.
Nah.
I was waiting for you to respond. I don't know what you're going to say. You know what I'm saying? And then even in real life as well, off the camera, am I like this?
Yes.
Yeah, you asked. To be fair, I expected it though. I didn't feel like you would.
Not a lot of people expect that. I remember me and Rob got on a call one time. I say this too many times. Cody Clip say it. We got on a call one time and someone said, someone on the call, they were like, "You're actually just exactly like you are in the podcast. It's crazy." I'm like, what do you expect? Like that's who you should be, right? But it's authenticity. Just being your authentic self, because you will, like, your vibe attracts your tribe. That's one thing I'm very, very big on. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Like, your vibe has attracted me.
True.
Because you guys are doing your thing, and it's like, okay, it's interesting to me. That's why I'm here. That's why Rob's going to be on. That's why I'm not going to mention your other guests. Like, I don't know what's happening, but those guys have come on and are coming on, and those episodes will be out too. You see what I'm saying? Because your vibe attracts your tribe, and that's why we've built a community, because of our authenticity. People like us for us. People come to us like they know us. They say, John, I've never met you in a day in my life. But they don't think that they know us because of the authenticity that we bring through our brand. So yeah, authenticity, definitely, in terms of personal brand.
Definitely.
100%.
Don't you feel like it could limit you sometimes? I don't know if that's the right word in terms of the way some people may speak. Like some people may grow up in certain environments and it's kind of like, yo fam, what's up? This man, this thing, that blah, blah, blah. And that's not really presentable in certain industries. But if that's an industry that they want to get into, them being authentic, would that stop them? Or would it kind of, would you say there's still a way?
I think ultimately, so you have your character, right? Your character is your main thing. That's just you as a person. Your accent, the way you speak, the things that you say, those can all change. And you can learn to adapt to different scenarios. So I don't think that's necessarily a limiting factor. But sometimes that actually may benefit you. Because there may be someone looking for that kind of aesthetic. Like someone who has the Roman aesthetic or whatever. And there's someone who's able to speak to their audience. Like E-Man, he'll say bro, he'll say cuz, he'll say fam on TV. These people next to him, they're not using those words, but he's able to talk to a certain demographic, and that's the reason they've hired him. They hired him because he's able to speak to a certain demographic in the language that they'll understand. And that's why I believe authenticity is key.
So would you say, okay, I don't know if you guys have seen him. Have you guys seen the science guy who does experiments in his like back garden?
Oh,
and he was like,
right,
bro, put this thing. Okay, would you say that's being authentic? Because I feel like there comes a point where it feels like you're kind of forcing it. Because it's like every sentence he says, he speaks in Roadman like, bro, fam, ting. And I'm like, just do the science experiment, bro. Like,
for me, like sometimes when you build a brand for something, it's hard to let it go. So like, let's say for example, he built his brand off of talking normally. That might have just been how he spoke for that video, but then maybe the video blew. It's like, okay, so this is what the people want to see. Let me keep giving it to them. So that's why it may come across in that way. And I feel like when it comes to authenticity, you just got to continue being you. But it's hard. When you see the views and stuff, it's like, but people like this though.
Yeah.
So people like this version of me and such.
so do you reckon I fall into a trap of being not as authentic?
It's difficult. And you can be pigeonholed as well. And people want you for exactly that. So people want you as the guy that says fam while he's doing social experiments or science experiments, sorry.
Yeah.
They want you as that guy because that is what you put out there and that's what people are recognizing you for. And that's why it's very easy to be pigeonholed in that way. And of course, if you're getting brand deals from doing a certain thing and you're getting bread when you ain't seen bread like that before, I'm not saying anything about the science guy in it, but potentially you ain't seen that bread before. It's like, why wouldn't I continue to do this? And ultimately, he's adding value to people. He's teaching kids how to.
He's smashing it still.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Because but I just feel like you gotta say bro after every 2 sentences.
But that's
It's
the
like,
thing.
If you do watch this, mate, you are smashing it. But like, it's like, is it authentic? Like, would you speak like that off camera? Do you get what I'm saying?
But that's the thing you'll never know.
Never know.
You never know until you meet him. And that's the thing of us. Like that's why I like, when you meet him. Do you know what I'm saying?
I've already said it in my DM. But
It'll be dope for him to come on, actually. It'll be dope for him to come on.
Yeah, that'll be
I think that'll be
sick,
good to get the perspective as well of authenticity.
Exactly.
For real.
Is there anything else apart from authenticity that helps with a
In
personal
terms of
brand?
personal branding,
Yeah.
consistency. See how quick I'm.
Go on, one more.
That's how I know
One
you
more.
do this.
One more.
Okay, now you just. Now you did the thing. But actually, wait, one more for personal branding. Quality.
Quality. So
Quality as well. So the quality of the stuff you put out there.
is
So
it
like,
quality over quantity?
the quality of the content, the things that you're saying.
Okay.
So let's say,
Okay.
for example, it's not necessarily the HD quality 4K. I know you said something about 4K.
Yeah,
and
4K.
Yeah,
Not
shooting
not
in 4K.
necessarily the 4K-ness of it, right?
Yeah.
But it's the quality of the content that you're saying. So let's say, do you know RDC World?
Yeah. There
See
you go.
those guys.
Top best. I think the best content creators of all time.
Best content creators of all time, yeah?
One of them.
One of them best content. Obviously, you lots are there, we're there, you know what I mean?
mean?
But with them, man, do you see how they started? And you see how they've continued? They use one camera, more time. They'll just be using one camera, like panning it around, doing their thing, because it's the content that people like.
Ah, get you.
It's the content, the
and
quality of the
The
content.
niche is pretty sick. Like anybody who loves anime, they literally pick every single anime and they smash it.
And that's another thing as well. Remember when I said consistency too? So the consistency paired with the good quality has helped them build their tribe. And the vibe has attracted their tribe and has helped them to become successful. See how everything just links up, bro.
Nah, they are a great example of a brand as well.
Very, very good example of a
I
brand.
don't even know who they are. But
Yeah, no,
they're
You
sick,
would
bro.
have seen them. Like they got your ass in 4K.
The one who's like, don't pull up the 9, Jamal.
That's it. Them man,
That man kill it, bro.
They're hard.
It's just, you heard that one, innit? Don't pull up the 9, Jamal.
Yeah, I think
Exactly.
everyone's heard that, bro. That's
what I'm
everywhere.
But that's the thing, because of consistency. Bro, look at them, bro. They had wigs on. The wigs weren't even on properly. And it was just one camera looking at a couple guys just making jokes and laughing. And that thing's gone viral. You didn't even know what their name was, but you know what that is.
Yeah, true,
and that's from
true,
consistency and quality content. Not necessarily quality as in
Bro,
HD, but quality
you seen
content.
the memes where they're like, LeBron after Game 7. Or something,
Yeah,
and it's
that's
in the
them as
locker
well.
rooms.
You know, I probably have seen them. I
Most
can't lie.
likely.
I just
Hey,
don't know.
yo,
I
You
just
probably
didn't know
laughed
their
at them
name.
too.
Yeah,
But you just don't know
yeah.
their name. You see what I'm saying?
Those
So,
guys are funny.
yeah, quality definitely.
That's wild, is it? All right, then. So, how is it you build your brand as a podcast? How is it you structure yourself?
As in purpose led.
Yeah, how is
Yeah.
it structured purpose led?
So, what do you mean by that?
Like, how did you choose the colorways, the branding, what it's about, what it represents? How do you all get that?
Honestly, it's more so about like trusting the process and just going with it and starting now and getting better later. It's not starting now and get perfect later. That's what we used to say. But start now and get better later, as in like get closer to perfection. But you can't get perfection, so that's why we stopped saying it. But ultimately, it was literally just a step by step kind of situation. So you see our logo, it's like a P and an L, but the P's the wrong way around. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah. I like your logo, to be fair.
Thank you.
And you got it in the top corner of the
Of
pod
the
as
videos,
well.
yeah.
as
And it's
well.
like spinning, innit?
Yeah, it's hard, it's hard.
Bro, that took time to
I
create.
could imagine.
It took time, bro. Adobe, what's it? Final Cut? No, not Final Cut. Adobe.
Adobe Premiere Pro.
Bro.
No, what's
After
the other one?
Effects.
After Effects.
About to say, there's
okay.
no way that's Premiere Pro. That's
No,
After
it
Effects.
was not. I was trying to do it. Trust me, I tried through Premiere Pro. It just was not slapping at all.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you see that logo? Took me about 2 minutes. I made it on Canva, and that was just before we had our room on Clubhouse, right?
Yeah.
And then on Clubhouse, you had we wanted to create a club, purpose led. We didn't even know a name for it. So on the spot, we said, right, we want to create a club for this. You guys are asking us to create a club. What should we call it? We had a couple people in the room. Like I think this guy called AJ. He's like, I think he's done, I'm not sure, 7 figures. He's like 19, and he was doing like, I think, was it Amazon FBA? It might have been Amazon FBA. Or no, I know he bought his mum a yard, but I'm not sure if it was 7 figures. I can't remember the prices in it or how much he made. But he was doing very well for himself, right? And he was in our room. Other people in our room as well. It was like a room of like maybe 15 people, but we came up with the name Purpose Led in that room. And then just before that room, I made the logo. As a matter of fact, just after that room, going into the next room, me and Rob were like, we don't have a logo yet for our club. I was like, bro, let me just make one quickly. I just made one in like 2 minutes, just put the P the other way around. I said, oh yeah, this looks cool. Yeah, let's do that. And I just picked a random color. I said, yeah, orange. Yeah, that works. We just made it from there. And then people said, oh, I like that logo. Hey, I like it too. But it only took me 2 minutes to make. Why?
Yeah.
Because not only is that thing just like, okay, purpose-led, PL, cool, just put those together. But that's years of experience of creating logos and such. When I did graphic design back in the day. And it just made sense to me straight away that I could just put it together and people would like it. So, yeah. So it's literally just been a
That's it.
step-by-step situation. Podcast, like the actual studios, that's been a step-by-step situation as well. So we're going to different places and just testing out different places. We started in a place for free. As a matter of fact, this is why I feel like it's so important to tell people what you do. Because I told my boy JJ, big up JJ from Quay, that's his music name and such. I told him what we were doing, and he was like, okay, cool, say nothing. You know when you just tell the man something, and he's like, yeah, and then it just kind of goes on with the conversation. But a couple of weeks later, he must have sent me a snap saying, hey, you man are trying to do this podcast thing. There's a space that I'm involved with, and they actually let young people use these spaces for free. It's called YC UK, big up YC UK, right? They let young people use these spaces for free. That was our first studio. So like season 1, we were in like London Bridge. So you saw not London Bridge, sorry, like Waterloo. You saw the London 9, all that kind of stuff in the background. We had that for free.
Sick.
Because these people, YC UK, were offering that to young people. And because I told my boy that we wanted to start a podcast at some point.
Okay.
And people are all so scared of telling people what they want to do. So scared. But they don't understand that you telling the right person something can put you in a place that no one thought you can get to, or you didn't even think that you can get to. And then obviously we told him, he got us into that place, we started using that place, then we found where we're at now, and then they even opened up a new situation, which is in Canary, which is what we're using now. So everything has just been step by step, and it's not like this was all planned from the beginning, no. Far from it. We're just taking it step by step, man.
Tell me about your podcast, because me and Ajay have said, through the podcasting, I've even mentioned the Real Limit today. It is the biggest networking event you could ever make because, like you said, we saw your podcast and the value you provide, and you're all about personal growth, improving yourself, becoming a CEO of
You.
Hey,
Yeah. You know she's not doing that. This is your thing. Yeah, that's hard.
yeah. So like, I know for that, me and Ajay have been able to expand our network crazy, and just like you said, you've met a lot of people through podcasting.
100%.
So what was one of the main reasons you wanted to start a podcast?
The main reason, not even one of them. The main reason is because our community asked us to. We were on Clubhouse.
Really?
We had a community of about 500 people on Clubhouse, which isn't a lot looking back at it. But actually, matter of fact, looking back at it, yes, it was a lot because we didn't have anything before that. So it's just perspective, innit?
Yeah.
So we had a group of about 500 people. They were saying, yeah, start a podcast because when you do a Clubhouse room, it's not saved. So I don't know where to find it.
Okay.
You see, like, it's not a thing. Oh yeah, sorry, you wouldn't know. You weren't on Clubhouse. You know.
I know that Clubhouse.
It was live or nothing. Like, you couldn't save these. You couldn't screen record it. Otherwise, like, there would be no audio. It was jarring. It was long. So they were like, okay, create a podcast so we can listen to it forever. You see what I'm saying? And whenever we want to come back to it, we can listen to it. So literally, it's a step-by-step thing. We didn't even initially think about making a podcast. We didn't even think about creating events. We didn't think about going and speaking at schools, speaking at university, going to like even there's a lot of other things coming as well, isn't it? Like, we didn't think about any of this stuff, but it's a step-by-step process, and people are too scared to start. Why? Because they're scared they're gonna fail.
Do you enjoy it?
100%.
Because my thing was, if people told you to do it, I was just thinking, how do you actually keep going once it gets tough? Because I know running a podcast ain't easy, bro. Especially if you're not outsourcing the work and you're doing it all yourself, and you got other stuff to do. It's kind of like, yo,
A business to run.
loudest. You could easily just say loudest.
Yeah, I could have easily done that. 100%. I so could Rob. Rob was not flying, but bussing it or coaching it or training it, whatever, from Loughborough to London every time we had to shoot. That's like hours.
Yeah, that's
of a journey.
dedication. So
And I had to go from Southeast London to West London. That's an hour and a half drive in traffic.
bro,
I don't like traffic, bro, because there's stuff I could be doing in that time.
same.
There's stuff I could be doing in that time. So I had to zoom all the way over there. Rob came down from Loughborough, which was a longer journey. He was running for the coach in the morning, got there, and sometimes he would fly straight back up there or coach straight back up there the same day. And it's long, exhausted. But the reason we continue going is because of the people that it was impacting. I'll never forget. Okay, I forgot his name, but I'll never forget the message, right?
Yeah.
Can't remember his name right now. Never forget the message. Someone said, I may not have been here had it not been for your podcasts.
Bro.
And that kind of that changed the game, innit? Well, matter of fact, it didn't even change the game, it just developed the game. Because we knew that we had to keep pushing, we had to keep going. And then the constant appreciation from people of like, we need this kind of content. Thank you for making it. Don't stop. That's another thing that kept us going. And then we knew that if we impacted, this is a whole thing. When we go to events, when we speak at schools, universities, if we impact one person, we've done our job. We've done our job. Because if we impact one person, it's the positive ripple effect. Because let's say, for example, we speak to a room of hundreds of people, right? One person gets impacted and they speak to a room of thousands of people. One person from that audience gets impacted, they speak to a room of millions of people. It'd be a big room. And let's say, for example, a stadium right, of tens of thousands of people. Bro, this stuff has a ripple effect, right? So I think if we impact one person from our videos, we've done our job. And obviously this life is purpose-led, right? So we're trying to lead with impact.
So what's some of the first things on your first few podcasts you spoke about? I could imagine we spoke about our most passionate things about starting the podcast and our first ever podcast. And that was by ourselves. And obviously that's what we're trying to do more ourselves to get people to know us. But what were some of the first things you spoke about?
One of our first episodes is about hustle culture. I remember that. And Rob was definitely against it. He was so against it.
What was Rob saying? Because I've got my opinions on hustle culture.
Rob was saying, it's like, what was he saying? I can't remember exactly what we were saying, but I just remember he was against it, innit? And I was like, but sometimes you have to hustle, bro. Like, you have to hustle, like, and as a business owner as well, like, you know you have to hustle. Of course, it's not going to be like that forever, but you know you have to hustle at some points. Like, because you are the face of your business. And you are basically, you take responsibility for everything. Because not everything is your fault, but everything is your responsibility when it comes to business. So you have to hustle sometimes,
you
right?
do have to hustle.
Exactly. So I was like, I can't remember exactly what I was saying, but that was one of the first topics. What was another topic? I can't remember what the topic was, but we're just being ourselves, innit? So we were doing like freestyles and stuff. So like so you see on this, I'm not sure if you can do it on this, but you can, for our one, we're able to connect it with Bluetooth. You're able to like play songs on it. So me and Rob just had the headphones on. We just freestyle. Because more time, like if we hear a song come on,
try that. So.
If the song comes on,
before podcasts.
but that's how we got prepared for podcasts. That was the first podcast we had. We got prepared for it by freestyling. We weren't comfortable on the mic in front of a camera, so we were like, okay, what we usually do? Usually freestyle. So we just got to freestyle and we put on a beat, decided to record it, put in one of the episodes. And funnily enough, at our most recent event, which was our workshop, you lot should come to the next workshop. It was really good.
We will.
Yeah,
Definitely come.
100%.
At our workshop, someone I've never spoke to before, but apparently he'd found our content recently. He liked it so much that he went back to season 1 and started watching all of it from the beginning. And he was like, you lot should do the freestyle stuff that you were doing before. It was amazing. I was like, huh? Well, people like that. Like, yeah, because that's just us being us and it's going back to being authentic again. But who freestyles on a podcast who isn't a rapper?
True. Yeah.
People don't but that's just me and Rob. We would do that. If me and Rob were outside, let's say for example, we're in an Uber and the Uber's playing a song, we'll start freestyling to it. Let's say for example, we're at an event and there's like some sort of song going on, like an instrumental or something, we'll start freestyling to it. Why not do it on a podcast? It's us, right? We do that usually. So yeah, that's another thing that we did in our earlier episodes. And we're going to definitely bring it back as well.
Bring it back.
That sounds sick.
100%. It's just fun,
Don't be
innit?
surprised on our next episode.
Bro, run it, man.
On our last episode, we had,
Yeah.
you probably won't see this for a while now, but
Yeah.
we literally started freestyling with the guest. And it was
Yeah.
like, okay, you ready now? And then it's like,
That's it.
Yeah, it's
Bro,
true,
and it's
true.
just you having fun, being yourself, and people appreciate that. There's no blueprint to this thing. Who said that you can't freestyle? There's no written rules.
True.
You lot might have written some rules, but I know that ain't in there. You can definitely freestyle if you want to, because it's your who owns this room. Matter of fact, who owns this equipment? It's yours. Who owns the platform? It's you. You can do whatever you want.
Facts.
100%.
all right. So I love the way you speak. You speak very passionate and affirmative. You remind me of Tris in a way, because Tris
Okay.
also speaks very passionate and affirmative.
Yeah, he does.
We got
So,
Tris.
so let's say this: if Rob was to come in this room, which he will, what would he say about you that you think that you speak passionate about?
Business.
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 Why is business so passionate for you?
Because remember when I say you turn into what you tune into?
Yeah.
That's all I tune into, bro. I'm listening to CEO of You. Come on.
Yeah,
I'm listening to Diary of a CEO.
Yeah,
I'm listening
same.
to
Sorry. Let me give a shout out. That was what I listened to this morning.
come on,
Yeah.
serious. Stephen Bartlett.
Yeah.
Yes, because I'm thinking of another CEO cast. That's who I was thinking about
Wait,
as well.
did anyone see Stephen Bartlett doing kick-ups?
No.
Yeah,
I said-
Was he a baller or something?
For the soccer aid. Bro.
yeah, bro. He's gonna be at soccer aid, innit? And he
Was
did
it
like
good? Was
he
it-
did.
He was
Really?
born into
Man did like an around the
fair enough.
world, and then
Oh wow!
I was like,
and then put it
Steve.
into like a mini goal, like the real mini one.
Damn, yeah.
Like, on the volley. I
Yeah,
said,
so I was sorry after this, but I was like, that's Stephen.
Hard.
he sent me the photos.
I was like, that's Stephen. Like,
It's hard still. Listen, listen, how you do something is how you do everything. So if he does business well, imagine how the other stuff that he's interested in he does. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, you'd say business, because that's what I tune into, right? So everything I tune into is what I turn into. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about all the time, and I'll speak about it passionately because it takes up so much of my life. If I'm running my own business full time, it's gonna take up a lot of my life and a lot of my headspace. And the stuff I'm listening to, Social Proof podcast. If you don't listen to it yet, it's with this guy called David Never Sleeps, and this girl called Donnie as well, a lady called Donnie. Dope entrepreneurs from the US, and it's like Him 500, Earn Your Leisure.
Oh yeah.
They're brethren, all of them kind of guys, they're friends, right? And Eric Thomas, I listen to him a lot, and they talk a lot about business too. So everything I'm listening to is business related. Even when I'm listening to like preachers and stuff, right? It's not even necessarily preachers, like even podcasts, right? From Christian men, they'll be including like the word of God, right? Like even what's my man's name? Miles Monroe.
Yeah.
He'll even speak about business and stuff. And I like tuning into that stuff. So everything I listen to is business related. So that's what I speak about passionately.
Top 3 podcasts.
Top 3 podcasts. Purpose led.
I'm about to say, not including your own.
Is that not including mine? Okay, so scratch purpose led. Well, this is a hard one. I'd say that I listen to regularly. Definitely Social Proof podcast. Also, Secret to Success by Eric Thomas. That's really good. And there's one more, and they do like daily short podcasts, which are really, really good. It's like mindset. How can I
I was about to say Jay Shetty, but I don't.
No, not even. I don't even listen to him. I listen to Rob Dial,
Rob Dow. Why?
The
I've
mindset
heard the
mentor.
name. I just don't know
Yeah,
why.
I feel like I've
the
heard the name
mindset
as well.
mentor. He's one of the people that helped me change my mindset completely.
He's your mindset mentor.
No, the mindset mentor.
I
That's
was
his thing,
about to
innit?
say, oh.
Like he's one of the people that helped me change my thing completely. Mindset. Like his whole thing
What
is
were
just
some of
about
the things he
mindset.
was saying?
So let's say, for example, you turn into. Did he say that? No, he didn't say that. That was me.
That was
He
me.
said. He said like, one of the things he said, for example, was his dad dying was the best part of his life and also the worst part of his life, because obviously his dad died. That's no one likes that, right?
I want to hear
I
the
would
best
hope not.
part because I don't understand how that.
And the best part, because he realized life is short. And when he realized life is short, he was like, I got to do something with mine. I have to make it work. I have to make something happen to actually leave something here, right? And after that, he went on to inspire millions of people. He inspired me. Purpose-led me and Rob. Matter of fact, Rob sent him to me when we were in our whole purpose-led bag, or like before there was purpose-led, right? He sent this to me when we were talking before even Clubhouse. And that's what we were tuning into. That's where we were getting some stuff from in terms of like the way of thinking, right? And it was always talking about mindset, always talking about reframing your mind. He reprogrammed my mind, I'd say. Because you know how your mind is programmed a particular way from when you were young. He reprogrammed my mind. And he is basically a mindset mentor, even though he never actually mentored me. He essentially mentored me through the podcast. And then sometimes you'll get to a point where you're taking so much content from a particular place or a particular person that's like, okay, you've served your purpose. Thank you so much. Let me just, move on. So I don't even listen to him that much anymore because I feel like he's done his job. Like he gave me that foundation I needed for the mindset, looking at life a different way, looking at things as a blessing rather than a curse. Like remember I said the high metabolism, looking at things in the right way.
Glass half full
kind of living. So yeah, he helped me a lot in that situation. So yeah, I'd say he was definitely up there, even though I don't listen to him that much anymore.
So you're all about business, but what does money mean to you?
Freedom.
Is that what you're aiming for as well?
Sorry?
Is that what you're aiming for as well?
Yeah. Freedom is in like, not freedom, full freedom, but like time freedom, location freedom, and the same for my family as well. Okay. So it would help, obviously, mom, dad, and obviously sisters, just being able to get them whatever they want. You know what I'm saying? Treating them the way they should be treated, you see it? Obviously, I'll do what I can right now, but I know there's a lot more I can do. And it's also a benchmark for like how well you're doing something. Because it's not like, let's say, for example, I don't know, I can't give you an accurate example right now, but let's say, for example, it's something that you can measure, right? Business is something you can measure, and it's measured by money. Yeah. That is where your success is measured. And I like things where it's like, it's clear cut. Okay, so if you do X, you get Y. And if you do Y and you're doing well, it will actually be like, you'll see it in like Z, for example, right? And the Z is the bread. Come on. You'll be able to see it there. So I like it because it's measurable, right? And you're able to measure your success.
So what made you want to start a social media marketing agency?
I won't even say, it did start off as a social media marketing agency, to be honest.
Before it started, it's a social media.
So yeah, it basically was a social media marketing agency. So I wouldn't even call it that right now.
What is it right now?
Right now it's a personal branding and podcasting agency. So it's more so like content marketing, right? Okay. And then also consultancy too. So it started off as a social media marketing agency. I love telling this story because I like cars, right? Mm-hmm. Do you like cars?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've listened, yo. Car's a car, right?
Car's a car, right? Until you start driving them, bro.
Until I start driving.
Bro, it's the same with me. Exactly. It was the same with me. I never looked at cars until I started driving them. And I said, okay, this one handles like this. Or that one handles. I started driving my friend's cars and they're okay, cool.
Bro, that's how I felt when I drove that Seat Leon, bro. 2020 plate. This handles nice.
Yes, I remember jumping in my uncle's Ford, brand new thing. And I thought, wow, this is how your thing drives.
Yeah, because it's smooth, it's nice. You see what I'm saying?
The clutch ain't high, automatic.
Automatic, different kind of life.
Cruising.
And I was looking on YouTube. I was looking at these different cars. Right, there was one car in particular. I think I was looking at maybe like a CLA or something like that. Because I like to see good stuff. Right? I like to see people picking up their cars because that's going to be me. You know what I'm saying? At some point when I get my new car and then the next car and this, that, and the other. And I like to see interiors and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then I must have seen one guy picking up a car, right? Like Asian brother, maybe like 21-ish or something like that. Pretty young, like I was pretty young, right? And he must have said, oh yeah, I have a BM, but I'm also getting a CLA. I said, huh? Also? What does that mean? He said, also, yeah. Obviously, I'm not talking to him. But then, yeah, it's also both of those two. I'm like, okay, cool. So how does this work? And at the end of the video, he said he has an SMMA. I was like, what's that? Whatever. And then I moved on. And I listened to another guy, he's a white guy now, and he had a Jaguar I-Pace, which is a 4x4 electric Jaguar. Right. And I was like, I like this car, not because of the car, but because of the colorway. Like, it's white, black, and it's proper smooth. And he went to his yard, and he had a Porsche, like Taycan Turbo, whatever, SS, double plated, whatever, right? It was serious. And it was the same colorway as the Jaguar I-Pace. And I said, all right. And I saw the yard. When he parked it, I said, and the yard kind of matches the cars too. And I'm like, how's he got all this matching? Does the bread match? The bread must match.
The bread must match.
And then he said at the end, so guys, probably wondering how I afford all of this kind of thing, innit? It's paraphrasing. Advert basically. So the reason I have all of this is an SMMA. And if you're interested, here's my course. I was like, he's trying to sell a course. But this is how he does it. Okay, that's interesting. Started looking at SMMA. And then I ended up actually coming back to him.
Did you buy the course?
I bought the course. And that was the first time I invested in myself. Sorry?
Was it good?
It was decent. And the thing is, I will never look at a course like a scam, right? You can it depends on the course, innit? But for me, that course was not a scam.
How much was the course?
It's like 700.
Yeah.
And that was the first time that I invested into something for myself, right? Otherwise, it would be investing into shoes, and that's not really investment unless you're trying to resell, right?
For real.
Which I also did, but that's another story. Must have got that course, right? And even before I got the course, I was looking at other people, and I realized other people, not too sure who brought me into the space. Let me look at him. Got the course now, and he taught me how to set up a business, taught me how to like the mindset part of it too, because this guy was a sales guy coming into marketing, right? Running a marketing agency. And then I looked at what he was doing, and I basically started to apply it to my business, started getting my business off the ground in terms of like the foundation of it. So I was like getting the business sorted out, the LTD and all that kind of stuff. And then after that, I found some other guys on YouTube, which I was like connecting with more. But that actually helped me get the start. And of course, they had like the weekly calls as well, which helped too. So actually being able to jump on a call and hearing that someone's doing 25K a month, hearing that they're doing like 100K a month, like as in the company. I'm like, okay, so this stuff is possible. And I'm in a Zoom meeting with them. So if I'm in a Zoom meeting with them, they're human, they bleed the same blood as me. Why can't I do the same thing?
Yeah.
So it helped me to like, you know, expand the horizons and see that other normal people that aren't on the internet and have YouTube channels are also doing crazy numbers from following certain principles from this course.
What does that do to you? Because I know it makes me feel a certain way when it's like someone's doing something I know I could do probably just as better and earning way more than me.
Mm-hmm. How does that make me feel? Makes me feel like I need to go harder, innit?
Yeah.
Definitely need to go harder. And that's the thing, like, there is always going to be someone who is probably not as smart as you, probably doesn't have as much experience as you, probably not as good looking as you lots, and they're still doing the same thing as you're doing, but they're charging double. So what are you going to do about it? And for me, it's a thing of adding value in it. Like, I just add more value, increase my offer. So yeah, that's basically what I feel when I see something like that.
I get that burning desire. Like, yo, I could do that.
But I'm inspired by them. I look at them, I said, yeah, okay, that's hard. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. That's hard. I'm going to do that. You see what I'm saying? And the world is abundant, so there's space for everyone to eat. Why do you think I'm here? It's abundance. We talk about similar stuff, right?
Facts, because that's what I'm saying. Because I remember everyone was like, oh, you're starting a podcast. Oh, everyone told me to start a podcast. But I'm like, okay, I'm still going to start a podcast. Because guess what? There's room for one more space.
Exactly.
And
there's always room.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. Because everyone can tap into different areas of the market. And matter of fact, you said that people can't listen to 3 podcasts, 5 podcasts, 6 podcasts. I gave you 3 podcasts that I liked. Obviously, one of them I don't listen to anymore, but I listen to more than that. I listen to maybe like 5 in rotation. Serious podcasts.
So how did you go from SMMA to personal branding and
Podcasting. So essentially, I was running the digital marketing business, and it was like basically organic marketing. So like Instagram and LinkedIn and that kind of stuff for startups, because I've always found startups interesting. And then from there, I said, all right, cool. I like this client, but I don't like the work. And then I also was running a podcast with my boy, and both of those at the same time, it's just long, trying to balance both of them. And I'm like, I need some way to kind of like automate this. So ended up basically saying, okay, cool. What if I get editors in here and they help me with this, X, Y, and Z, and then we're actually able to automate this part of the business. And then I said, that just might work. And I started speaking to other people as well, instead of like other business owners. And I started doing my outreach and saying, oh, would you, is there something you'd be interested in? People were like, yeah, I'd be interested in that. And that's basically where it started from.
How much outreach was you doing a day?
So I was doing only about 10.
Only about 10.
See, I remember speaking to Cam. Cam was like to me, yo, do 50 outreach a day.
It depends what platform. Because it was you talking about Instagram, right? So I was using Upwork.
Oh, okay. I was about to ask, was you emailing?
No,
DMs?
so even that's the thing. Everyone has their own thing, and that's another thing about the first course as well. That was mostly cold calling. Like his thing was cold calling. I'm like, I'm not trying to cold call anybody. I'm trying to go somewhere where they want me. I'm not trying to be speaking to someone and trying to like talk to them and try to persuade them to buy this thing. It's like, okay, if someone has a problem, there is going to be somewhere where someone has a problem that I can go to and I can say, look, I can help you with that. You need help with that. Let me help you with that, right? So it's like difference between cold leads and warm leads. Because with cold calling, it's cold leads, cold calling. But then with Upwork and such, it's warm leads. They're putting out posts out there. I need your help with X, Y, and Z. Obviously, you lot have heard of Upwork, right?
Yeah.
Do you use it?
I did.
I would say start. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of tire kickers on there. And even Cam helped me with this as well. I always big up Cam because Cam actually helped me at the start.
Do Cam behind a Cam?
Huh?
Oh, Cam. Oh, I'm thinking.
Can
oh my
get
God.
rich.
I got confused for a second.
Yeah, there's
He
2
said-
Cams in it.
Yeah, he
There's
said- he
a
said Cam, I was
videographer
thinking,
Cam.
wait,
Right.
Cam, yeah.
So yeah, I always big him up in it because he helped me at the start and such and like telling me what to do. All I did was I just DM'd him because I saw that he was doing something similar. And again, this is what it means about like, you know, going to people and telling them what you actually do. This guy also went to my school, year above me. My school is, excellence.
Excellence, yeah.
He's doing his thing in the corporate space as well. His name's Philip, big up Philip. And then one thing that he said was like, okay, what are you doing, bro? And I said, well, what I'm trying to do is run this marketing agency. He's like, oh, Cam does that. You should reach out to him. So if I never told him, I might not even be doing what I'm doing right now.
True.
And that's just through conversation. And people are just scared to say what they're doing. Even in the school that we spoke at today, kids were scared to say what they're doing because they were afraid that people will laugh at them or afraid that they're going to say, oh yeah, why haven't you started that yet? But I wasn't scared. I was like, hey, listen, man, this is what I'm doing. Like, you might know someone that might be able to help me. And he did. And then Cam helped me out and he kind of like taught me through the process and such. Anyway, I was going through Upwork and I found like another person on YouTube who was doing the Upwork thing, even after I had the course. And I wasn't too bothered because the course helped me start. So yeah, found someone on YouTube, they were just helping with the whole process. Like their content was really, really useful, and then kind of just went from there. And then kind of scaled up there with the marketing agency, and then the podcast as well simultaneously. Then said, okay, podcast agency, let me change it to that. After that, I said,
so you niche down as well.
Exactly. And then I said, okay, but I also help people with their personal branding. So let me call it a personal branding and podcasting agency. So yeah, listen, man, everyone's got their niche. Everyone's got their niche. But when it aligns with you, that's the best thing. Because you can do like lead gen. I tried lead gen. That didn't work. Like, well, it did work. I was getting the people leads. I was getting the people leads. However, when it comes to getting leads, you're supposed to be able to follow up with them within minutes. Because let's say, for example, they signed up for something. Let's say it's like a facial, right?
Yeah.
They signed up for a facial. And you respond to them or you give them a call in 2 days. They won't even remember doing that, signing up for that thing, however, 2 days ago. But if you call them in 2 minutes and say their name, oh, I noticed you signed up for, oh, right, yeah, I did sign up for that. They weren't doing that. They weren't doing it initially, right? They weren't calling them straight off the bat. They were calling them maybe like a day later or 2 days later. And then they weren't even coming to me saying that this can't run, like, oh yeah, we're not getting the traction that we thought. I said to myself, they're not getting the traction that I thought that they would get because they're not handling their side of the business. And I was like, okay, so this is out of my control. I can't control how like the lead nurturing process afterwards. So like, okay, let's leave that.
That wasn't working.
It wasn't working. Nah. Facebook has tried that as well.
How was that?
It was all right, but then iOS 14 came out. I don't know if you know about iOS 14, but it kind of...
What did that do?
It just mashed up the whole situation when it came to Facebook ads. It mashed up everyone's thing. Like I'm talking about people, you're not able to... so you see how on your iPhone it's like, oh yeah, allow this app to track what you're doing and stuff. That came out in iOS 14.
Also with the ads, you couldn't...
Mashed up. Like you couldn't say, okay, this traffic is coming from Facebook or this is coming from this particular click. So you weren't able to like hone down on all of your Facebook ads and such and your analytics. You're still able to through different means, but it's a lot harder. So that's why there was a point where it was like a gold mine, like a gold rush.
Which kind of growth's been the best? Which kind of growth? Because from doing someone in SMA, which kind of growth's the best? Paid growth or just a normal organic growth?
They both have their reasons. They really both have their reasons. So
which one would you use? Let's say I was a coach and I wanted to get more clients and to come in. Which one would you say? More paid ads or more just organic growing?
I would say organic.
Why?
Because you can get stupid virality on organic. You can get a little bit of virality on paid as well, but let's say, for example, you put something out on TikTok and it gets 2 million views and you're talking about how important coaching is. And then you have 2% of those people convert. That's a lot of people convert, even onto your email list. And you start feeding your email list with all this stuff. And by the end of the month, you could have had however many people actually convert into actual paying clients from that. And it's awareness as well. It just gets you out there, gets your face out there, and you don't have to pay for it. It's free.
You know what? I heard, I don't know if you know who Ryan McGinn is.
No.
I know you do.
Yeah.
But he helps personal brands get organic growth, not growth, organic views. And he was like, the mindset behind it is, let's say you're a coach. He helps you with the videos, the editing, posts for you. Then he goes, that video gets 5 million views. It might not be about you coaching, but let's say 500,000 people check you out to see you do coaching. 50,000 people are like, oh yeah, I'm interested in that. I want to fitness coaching. Let's say I want to improve my health or whatever. 50,000 people check out your website or your link or whatever. 10,000 sign up. You got just like that. 10,000 sign-ups, and then however many you close. But I was just like, right, that makes sense.
It makes a
and
lot
it's
of
free.
sense. Yes, and it's free as well. And paid does have its
and it does
situations.
as well.
Yes, it does compound.
Give me an example where paid works.
Paid will work. Let's say, for example, paid isn't just like social media paid. I'm talking paid as in like banners. I'm talking like flipping buses. I'm talking in person.
Is that what you was doing?
Oh no, that's not what I was doing. Right. I'm just saying that's a situation that it could work, right? Because that is also paid media, and also paid could be like influencers. You're paying influencers to promote your thing, right? Yeah. And influencer marketing is really, really strong right now. Really, really strong. I think Timothy Armu, do you know who that is?
Yeah.
He's been popping it with the reels now.
But then before that, he was running his business, which he sold for like what, 24 mil or something like that.
24 mil.
I can't remember how much it was, but I
just
know it was
an
mils.
8-figure exit, so it's
Yeah.
10 mil.
And
he's still young as well. How old is he now?
27, 26, something like that. Yeah. And his thing is crazy. His thing was influencer marketing. So there's a lot of bread in influencer marketing. You could run up a bag on that, I'm telling you.
What was his business?
I think it was influencer marketing.
Just influence marketing.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was in like the music industry or
It
something.
was, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I seen a reel about it. It was something to do with linking influencers to brands, helping brands find influencers.
So he was just a middleman on that.
Essentially, but I think he also had a deal where he like structured campaigns and stuff like that too.
Okay.
And actually, yeah. Actually, I don't know what's going on there.
There is one, in fact, there's two last questions. My personal question that I like to ask you: what's 7 things that you can't live without?
7.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. 7. 1. My phone.
Are you addicted to it?
I would say so. Yeah. But it's like not necessarily in the way that people usually are. It's like. Actually,
Business.
yeah, I'd say yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'd say I'm addicted to it still. Like it's like damn, I need this thing around me, innit?
What's your watch screen time? You reckon?
It's not even too bad to be honest. I think it's like maybe 5-hour average.
Only 5.
Nah,
It
that's
used
good.
to be like 12.
You ain't addicted as a
Now
phone.
you ain't addicted, bro.
Mine,
I
mine's
used to
like
be.
around 9, 8, 9.
Okay. And
Oh,
it used to be a
so
lot. There used to be a lot of the platforms like TikTok, Snap, Instagram. Then I realized like, what am I doing on these apps?
Do you
What
actually
you
do the
doing for
maths, hasn't it? 9 hours. Think about it. You wake up at like 7.
I do the maths, but
9 hours, so-
I've also gone in depth and I've also tracked it. So I'm like, before it was a lot of time on TikTok, but I don't go on TikTok no more.
Right.
TikTok's
And
a trap.
now it's kind of like Instagram just because I'm posting for certain people.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just like, I have to be on it.
Yeah.
And then sometimes my phone's just on, or I'm watching football on my phone. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just,
oh yeah, that makes
it
sense.
varies, innit?
And for me, it's maps as well. Like I sometimes have maps on when I'm going like
same.
studio and stuff like that.
So yeah, phone,
laptop,
laptop,
water.
water. Okay.
I love water. Actually, I'm always drinking water. I don't even drink anymore. Like I don't even drink alcohol anymore.
Also,
Like I realize it just there's no upside for it. It mashes up your insides.
yeah,
Do you know what I've actually said? I said,
Go on.
how do people actually enjoy alcohol? I've never actually thought.
I know why because I drank
Nah, but I've never thought.
it. Do you know what I mean? Like I know exactly why they enjoy it.
I'm thinking more like outside, like yo, like why would you want to loosen up yourself to make you feel? I just thought it just don't make sense.
There's benefits for it. Like obviously when you drink alcohol, people get like some people get more confident.
Yeah, it's true.
And it
Yeah,
allows
I know-
people to
I know
open
that,
up, right? And then sometimes, let's say for example, you're trying to speak with someone and they're kind of closed off. Sometimes alcohol gets them to open up. I'm not saying to take advantage of nobody at all. I'm just saying, let's
The
say for
next thing
example,
you know, you seen a rare nephew on
ain't
the
no,
table.
and that's how people get
honey
into
syrup in there as well.
that's how people get into sticky situations as
You
well.
know, you know about that one there?
Nah.
Mixing alcohol with honey.
Who?
Also, no one knows about that.
What you said?
Putting honey in alcohol.
Oh, I've been hearing about that. Yeah, isn't it like a specific type of honey as well, or is it just honey?
It's kind of like a specific type of honey. Nah, you could just put honey in there though.
Yeah, is it like Manuka?
Man, that's you put honey in your drink. You're basically trying to get wild.
Right. Oh wow, wow,
Wow.
wow.
It's like having banana before.
Doing the mad thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
That's what. It's like. So I guess you could imagine mixing honey and
Right.
Yo, try that.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, obviously, that's not my situation.
That's not my situation.
what I
I
do.
just know that. I just know.
For my thing, it's like, yeah, I just see very, very little upside when it comes to drinking. Like, you wake up the next morning and you just be, it's not even necessarily hungover. It's like you're just not with it and you're just groggy in the morning.
Lagging.
Just lagging.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And that's not something that you want at all. Like, especially when you're running, you're the CEO of you. The CEO of
You.
Okay. When you're the CEO of you, like you have to operate accordingly. And even 50, he doesn't 50 Cent. Obviously, that's my guy, so I call him 50. Yeah. He doesn't drink like that, innit? Like he has his reasons as well. And it's because he believes that he wants to be in control 100% of the time. And sometimes he'll have to go gym in the morning at 5 a.m. And if he's out and he's drinking, he's not going to want to get up at 5 a.m. at all. So you have to think. And then another thing is, I went to one event, right? And all the people who were killing it at that event, I'm talking investors, business owners, people in corporate too. There was free drink there, right? It was sponsored by Ray and Nephews, matter of fact. There was free drink there, right? None of the people who were killing it had a drink in their hand.
Bro, could you
None of the
imagine
people-
they're like, yo, after this event, I need to get straight to it when I get back in the morning.
Exactly. That's another thing as well. And they want to come across the right way when they meet people. And it's going to mash up your insides as well. Like the health benefits of it aren't great too.
There's no benefit.
There is no
There's no
benefits.
benefits. If you
There
actually
is no
deep it, what's the benefits to drinking? So that's why I rarely drink. I think I might drink if I'm maybe like wine tasting or something, if I go to Spain or Italy or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Oh, fairs.
other than that, I don't really see the point.
So phone, laptop, water.
Yeah.
That's a mad tangent without
Words. Cameras
Camera. Okay.
for the content, innit? Wi-Fi
True.
to put the content out there, run my
Yeah.
business.
2 left.
Ooh, I feel like I rush through them. But okay, my family and my friends.
Perfect.
Nice.
Definitely, those are the ones that I'd say.
Well, end the podcast on a tradition. We have a guest from our last a question from our last guest. Sorry, man.
I was about to say, this guy ain't speaking English.
Yo,
It's cool,
English.
it's all
All
blessed.
right, then. They had a question for you, and the question they said, this is the first time we've seen it as well.
Yeah.
What's a story you have been telling yourself that is no longer serving you?
Ooh.
So I'll repeat.
Was that Nero?
No,
Nah.
No.
Really? That's
I
like a Nero
wish.
question though.
So I'll repeat the question. What's a story you have been telling yourself that is no longer serving you? It's an interesting question.
It's a very interesting question. You lot haven't answered that.
I haven't answered. I'm just in that. I'm in the same boat as you.
Because I feel like I've got rid of most stories. Oh, it could be like a previous story. What was the story?
Yeah.
Okay. That this wasn't possible. That what I'm doing is impossible.
You didn't believe?
I think at a point it was like I didn't believe that it would be possible to be, let's say for example, running events, running a business, doing all this stuff at the same time and balancing it. I didn't think that was possible. And that wasn't serving me, of course, because I wasn't doing it until obviously I got exposed to people and I realized that wasn't serving me. I was like, okay, exposed to people who were doing more and doing their thing. And I realized it wasn't serving me and I just kind of just went through and then just kept pushing on and here we are.
To be fair, I feel like I'd say I have a similar one.
What? About not all this being possible?
Yeah, bro. Until I met like Faith and Marnie and that, I was like, right, there's people actually my age in Birmingham.
Oh, there, man.
Yeah.
As in Faith, BB, and Marnie is in Amazon. Not Amazon, sorry. Trezor, that's it. Yeah, I don't know why I thought Amazon.
I met them and I was like, right, people in Birmingham killing it. Then Cam, I found out was from Birmingham. I was like, oh, right, so Birmingham.
Cam, oh, different Cam.
Yeah,
Cam behind the cam?
behind the cam.
No.
But yeah, that was
Crazy.
sick.
Hard, man.
I'm next.
Let's do this. All right, thank you. Well, that's a thank you very much, that Jonathan. That's perfect.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, bro. Thanks for traveling down. All of that.
Come on.
Make sure you check out.
Check out Purpose Said.
Purpose-led, man.
Hey.
And the round table. We didn't get
Oh yeah, round table. We didn't even speak about it.
Round table is
You
a
might as
group
well shout
for-
out.
I was about to shout out. Anyway, you know what I mean? Round table is a group for go-getters and entrepreneurs, and it's basically like a community, right, where we just put opportunities, like free tickets at events and stuff like that, giveaways like that. Also, we will be doing networking events soon too, and like dinners and such, and also masterminds. But yeah, basically all the resources you need on your entrepreneurial and go-getter journey, you will have them there. And then also we're going to be having an inner circle too, which is like an actual networking community where people will link up even abroad too. Everyone who's just doing their thing will just have a place to come together. And it's all based on the values of transparency, honesty, business, and value adding. So that's the round table.